It's not working. Good afternoon, welcome to Solent Sports News. It's 4 o'clock and I'm Miguel Machado. The World Cup winner and former England captain Jimmy Armfield has died aged 82 following a battle with cancer. After finishing his career as a football player, he went on to manage Bolton and Leeds. He also worked with the Football Association and BBC Radio. The commentator Martin Tyler praised Armfield's career.
And competitive, of course, he couldn't have had his career in football without being that. But he could win with dignity, lose with dignity. An absolute credit to himself and the game of football. Gentleman Jimmy Armfield has always been called that, and it was a proper name.
It is the 11th game without any victory in the Premier League for Southampton, what led them in the relegation zone. Yesterday afternoon they drew 1-1 at St Mary's against Tottenham. The Saints scored first, but the Spurs responded 3 minutes later by Harry Kane. In the end of the match, the Saints coach Mauricio Pellegrino had a philosophical approach.
It's like when you're dancing with other, no? It's a competition against 22, no, it's about 11. When the other are a little better than you, okay, it's difficult to dance, no? This is part of our life.
The football transfer window is 9 days away from its end. The clubs have now their final chance to buy, sell and loan players once again. Probably in one of the most important transfer windows for Southampton, Jasper Schreiner analysed what have been done and also what's to come to bring Southampton to a safer position in the Premier League.
Southampton have grown accustomed to turbulent transfer windows, and so far this January has been no different.
Debut, fine still, and in it goes, and Van Dijk gets it. No one's remembering the earlier miss now.
Starman Virgil van Dijk followed the well-trodden path from St Mary's to Anfield early in the window for a world record £75 million fee for a defender. He is the 6th player to switch the South Coast for Merseyside in the last 4 years. Southampton made no effort to hide their interest in Arsenal's Theo Walcott, only for him to turn down a romantic return to his boyhood club in a favour of a move to Everton.
Everton, after speaking to the gaffer and particularly Wayne as well, I felt like the club was, on the up. I felt that with the manager, seemed to get the best out of the players, especially when first coming in, and just the plans for the future of the club. And I felt like I wanted to be part of that. Fantastic history, and I want to make that history present. I want this club to push on and try and reach the levels that I feel like it can with the players particularly that are coming in.
It is understood that Southampton have held talks with Monaco for striker Guido Carrillo, who played under Pellegrino at Argentine club Estudiantes. The clubs are yet to reach an agreement. However, Southampton FC podcast producer John Bailey believes Carrillo could be the man to turn the Saints season around.
With Shane Long and with Gabbiadini both really struggling for goals, Charlie Austin's issues with injuries, I actually think Carrillo offers quite an interesting prospect. He's a big man. He gives you an alternative way to play. One of the problems Saints have had has been the in-game management, not having too many alternatives. And I think he actually offers something a bit different.
And it has been announced this morning that 22-year-old Southampton left-back Matt Targett has joined Championship outfit Fulham on loan until the end of the season. Adam Leach, chief sports writer for the Southampton Daily Echo, believes it's a move that suits both clubs and the players' development.
With Matt Targett, he needs to play games. I think he's at that stage of his development that he just needs to play. He's not exactly a player who is a youngster developing in the background, waiting to get the odd chance here and there. I mean, he's played a sizable number of games in the first team for Southampton, and to now find your growth, as it were, as a player completely stunted because you can't get a game. Well, that's not doing anybody any good. It's not doing him and his career any good. It's also not doing Southampton any good.
The latest name linked with the Saints has been Spartak Moscow forward Quincy Promes. It has been suggested that both clubs are close to agreeing a club record £30 million transfer for the 2017 Russian Premier League Player of the Year. It seems that the Saints could be busy right up until the window slams shut on January 31st at 11 PM. Jasper Schreiner, Solent Sports News.
In one of the other teams of Hampshire, Linus Errington has been looking of what League One side Portsmouth have been doing in the market.
It has been a busy transfer window so far for Portsmouth, with boss Kenny Jackett already welcoming Wolves duo Sylvain Deslandes and Conor Ronan to Fratton Park. The two youngsters have already made their Pompey bows, with 19-year-old Ronan debuting during the Blues' checkered trade defeat to Chelsea, whilst 20-year-old Deslandes made his first start last weekend as Portsmouth were beaten on the road by Rotherham. I spoke with Neil Allen, chief sports writer for the Portsmouth News, to get his first impressions of the two new boys on the block.
Delons made his debut for Pompey at the weekend. He did okay at left back. The real impact has been made from Conor Ronan, who has really come alive at the club. He's got clever feet, quick skills, likes attacking players, and for his height, he's got a really good low sense of gravity. And he looks something special already, very early on it, and already he's captured the attention of the Pompey fans.
For Portsmouth, it's been a case of 2 in, 2 out, with Curtis Main terminating his contract with the club to join Scottish side Motherwell, and Nicky Kapambe has sealed a loan move to National League outfit Aldershot.
Main's been surplus requirements for a long time. He's rarely featured for Pompey. The first year he had a lot of injury problems as well, so it was inevitable he would leave. And then the other one's Kabamba. He went to Colchester in League 2 early this season. Didn't quite work out for him there, and he returned early in December. But he still may have a future. Pompey will be monitoring him, seeing how he progresses and does a level higher than he's used to in the Conference South.
Kenny Jackett hasn't ruled out the possibility of further signings at Fratton Park, with Plymouth duo Sonny Bradley and Graham Carey linked with returns to the club.
Pompey don't need a central defender, and Sonny Bradley was here previously, and they sold him on, and he didn't really impress. Graham Carey is a fantastic player. No doubt about that. He signed a new deal with Plymouth in the summer. The problem with him is that he's an attacking midfielder, and Pompey at the moment don't need an attacking midfielder. They're desperate for a defensive central midfielder.
With just 18 games left in the League One season, Portsmouth are eyeing a playoff spot. Currently 9th in the table and 4 points behind Charlton Athletic, the arrival of new faces at Pompey may give the team the extra boost needed to achieve their promotion dreams.
Although they desperately need another central midfielder. As I said earlier, they've lost Danny Rose for the rest of the season through injury. Stuart O'Keefe out until April. So they're really, really short in those areas. Urgently address that.
Linus Harrington, Solent Sports News.
The video assistant referee is being one of the most controversial topics in football all over the world. The decision of introducing the VAR in the English football is not unanimous. Denis Aleko has more.
In the last 2 weeks, English football is confronting with a new controversy. Is video assistant referees a good idea for English football or not? Video assistant referees were introduced for the first time in the third round of the FA Cup in a match between Crystal Palace and Brighton. VAR was not used until a tie between Leicester and Fleetwood when Kelechi Iheanacho's goal was validated after the referee used the VAR system. After the game, Claude Puel said he liked video assistant referees. BBC sport journalist Phil McNulty thinks VAR is a good idea for football.
My reaction is that it's very much a positive. I think anything that helps get the big decisions right is to be welcomed in football. And I think technology is now part of any modern sport. It's going to be used in what you would call 3 game-changing situations, isn't it? Goals, penalties and straight red cards, and it might also be used in cases of mistaken identity by the referee. So I think those are also situations that if you can make decisions more accurate, in fact almost make them 100% correct, getting them right every time, then I think that has to be welcomed. I'm certainly not one of these who thinks it's taking power away from the referee. I think all referees want to get every decision right. Obviously that's not possible usually, but I think if you use technology, and in this case the video assistant referee, I think it's to be welcomed, and it is very much a positive for football at all levels.
Dragoș Căvășdan, a young football coach from FC Bournemouth Academy, also says that VAR is a good idea but has its drawbacks.
From a coaching perspective, obviously, because the stakes are very high in football right now, they're very big, and obviously you would like everything to be fair and square. So if the other team scores a goal from offside or something, and it's a winning goal, and you're losing the promotion, you're losing the qualification for Champions League, you get frustrated. So you get frustrated because that goal can means that you're not qualified. So or you lost, or you're going to relegate, or you're not going to win the title. So it's really good and important. As long as it's not going to waste time, it's a really good idea. It's really good, especially because technology you should use it. Technology every day in every domain, in football as well. If it's there and if it's helpful, just use it. The only thing will be, as I said, if it's not going to waste time, because if my team is attacking and it's putting pressure on the opposition and something happens and the referee needs to take his time to go and look and that's 2 minutes wasted, that's going to be good for the other team, as in they have time to breathe a bit. So ups and downs, pros and cons, but overall I think it's a really good idea. Again, considering the stakes that are involved in the game today.
VAR's first major controversy came in the Chelsea-Norwich tie, with Willian first having a penalty appeal waved away and then being yellow carded for diving, a call many disagree with, including manager Antonio Conte and pundit Alan Shearer. Team Solent football captain Curtis Thorne also feels that VAR could have a negative impact on the game.
I think the main problem with the video assistant referee is that, to be honest, my personal point is whether the unexpected advantages and disadvantages for the two teams would in turn lead to potentially disrupting the momentum of the game. From my point of view as a player, obviously this would affect the speed and to be honest, you want the game to be as fast flowing as possible. So obviously to replay an incident and then the game to stop and wait for that potential referee decision, I think in turn could affect the speed of the game, as well as cause other issues amongst the players, the fans and every external discipline there is out there as well. So overall I don't think it's a good idea, and it would just be a growing concern for everyone involved.
From Solent Sports News, Denis Alecu.
We finish with golf, as Tommy Fleetwood has won the Abu Dhabi Championship. The English golfer finished top for the second year in a row. In an impressive final round, he holed 6 birdies on the back 9 to beat fellow Englishman Ross Fisher by 2 shots. Fleetwood feels he's improving all the time.
Whenever you win, it's just validation that when you play well you can do it, and rounds like today are great. So I just think, yeah, my best golf is getting better and better, and my worst golf is hopefully getting better.
That's all from us now. We'll be back next week. Remember, you can keep up to date on our website solentjournalism.co.uk.